Hello friends. Today the pup and I are going to hike Cannon Mountain. So we started off at the Lafayette campground, going up the Lonesome Lake trail, and then there's a bunch of ways up to the mountain itself. We're going to take the High Cannon route and then go down the other side and then hook back up to the Pemmy Trail to make a loop. I think it'll be somewhere between 6 and 7 miles, so we'll see. The High Cannon Trail does have some wooden ladders for us to go up, so I thought it would be a good test to see how Jen does with them and how I can help her with that. We started right at sunrise, so we'll see how long it takes us. We're supposed to get up to 90 today, which is why I was like, I'd rather get this done before the peak of the day. So hopefully it'll only take us maybe 5 hours max, I'm hoping. But I plan for it to take, as long as 6 if we need to. All right, looks like we're going up. Yep, that's the trail. Well, it's taken us about an hour, just under an hour to do a mile. So that's how it's going. Stopped for a potty break, stopped for a little snack. So we are in no rush. This is a nice little sneak peek for us. Jen found a puddle to drink out of. I forgot to restart my tracking after our break, so now our mileage will be off, which I'm slightly annoyed at myself about, but that's okay. I just have put away my trekking poles because we're doing a little more hand over foot now. All right, there's a ladder. So let's see how we do this. Well, it wasn't super pretty, but we definitely made it up the ladder without too much trouble. First she followed alongside me, and then there was kind of a tricky bit, so I kind of hoisted her in between the ladder rungs, and then kind of did like lift, hoist, kind of set her down, try to let her get her own traction, but still supporting her at the same time. And we did it. I definitely am glad that we went up it. I wouldn't have liked to go down. I'm sure we would have made it work, but it definitely would have been trickier. I might have had to use the carrying harness. Look at all these painted trilliums. Beautiful. Oh, here's some more. Lovely. I haven't seen a lot of those lately. We're on the last little section of the High Cannon Trail. Then we are going to hook up with the Kinsman Ridge Trail and take that to the summit of Cannon. So far, there were a few cars in the parking lot. That was around 6 a.m., a little before 6. And then one guy passed me right before we went up the ladder. He said he was going to do the Kinsman Peaks too. So he was also trying to get an early start on the day before the heat hits. Point 4. So that's where we came. That's the Lonesome Lake Trail. And this is our way to Cannon Summit. So that was kind of discombobulating. We came in from the other side, walked through the building down, and then came out through that door. And now we're on this rim trail, just connecting. We're trying to get back to the Kinsman Ridge Trail without retracing our steps, so maybe it wasn't the best way, but we're headed in the right direction now. Hey, get away from the edge, please. This way. I know it is a good view that way, though. She does know a good view. That's not it. We're doing a switchback. There you go, silly. So far, the differences I'm seeing with coming down the Kinsman Ridge Trail, we came from up there, versus coming up the High Canyon is this one has a little more sun exposure and this like flat rock, and there's also water running down it, which is not the greatest. So, you know, this going on losing my trekking poles, but there's just something to think about if you want to consider which way to come up. You can also come up what is probably the best way, which is the Lonesome Lake Trail. And I say best in that it's probably the most gradual. I mean, I haven't done it myself, but I do know the bottom portion of Lonesome Lake Trail is like the High Canyon in that you're like very wooded. So we'll see how this one goes. I did not like this section. We were coming down there and this whole thing, water is running down it. So it's all completely wet. And so I kind of inched my way along there to there. But that was not my idea of fun. Nope. There it is going up. I assume that's up to Cannon? I didn't think it was running. There it is. That'll be fun to do one day, I think. As long as it doesn't like sway around too much, you know? Anyways, Jen and I are still navigating this. It is taking it out of me. A lot of mental work. Just wanted to show you how the terrain has changed. So instead of those like slabs of rocks, we now have this super loose like dirt, rock, gravel. It's like extremely eroded. It's kind of sad to see. It's kind of amazing that we can still walk on this trail. Again, slow going because we're kind of slipping and sliding all over here. The parking lot is always a beautiful sight. Great breeze. So far, really thrilled with how we timed this with the weather. Alright, we gotta wind our way through this huge parking lot and figure out where the Pemi Trail is, and that'll take us to the parking lot where we are parked. Alright, so while we're doing this boring parking lot bit, I'll talk to you a little bit about my gear. I really like this Patagonia Capilline sun shirt. It's been very nice. It's a hot day, but it still feels fairly breathable. We'll see how it does on the stinkiness factor. I haven't worn it while I'm too sweaty yet. This is probably the sweatiest I'll be. I really like this hat. This is the Sunday afternoon bucket hat. One of the bucket hats, they have so many. I find it noticeably more breathable than even their ball cap that I have, so that's pretty cool. Great sun coverage, obviously, and it's nice you can spray the whole brim with bug spray to help keep them out of your face and neck and ears. I do think I might have to pick up some gaiters because I don't know what it is about these trails, but every time I go out, today wasn't too bad, but the last couple of trails I did, my shoes just are filling up, not even with gravel, but with pine needles and like little bits of broken up leaves. So it's just a little annoying to have to stop every couple of miles to take it out, or just like deal with the discomfort. So that might be my next purchase. I'm still liking my new shoes, the Hoka Speedgoat 5s, but the heel is very loose, so I'm going to play around with different ways to lace them up so the heel doesn't get too loose, or the heel doesn't move around. And then the trekking poles, been loving them. Almost face planted on the rocks coming down earlier, but because my foot got wedged in a rock and didn't come free when I lifted it, but I was ready to step forward, but because I had my other foot and the two trekking poles balancing, I was able to save myself. So that was really nice. But yeah, there's the gear update. There is a restroom, and here is the Pebby Trail. There's a Blue Blaze right there. We still have another highlight coming up. I believe we'll be passing by Profile Lake. I'm hoping it's really nice and accessible because I wouldn't mind going for a dip, but we'll see how it is. And regardless, I think I'm going to look for a good spot for one last snack break. Jin's looking a bit warm, so let her cool down, probably by the water and some shade. As long as the bugs aren't too bad, of course. Well, I walked into that, so that's gonna bruise. That was pretty painful. Right into my upper thigh. I was so distracted looking at the water, being like, oh, I wonder if we can get down to it, that I did not look where I was going. So, lesson learned there. It actually feels so good here with the breeze. I didn't get fully in the water, I just dipped my legs in. But it's amazing how much cooler it feels right here by the water. I guess because the breeze blowing off of it is cool. Doesn't feel like 80, that's for sure. We got to watch this fisherman here catch a little fish, so that was cool. That was a great break. We got to see that fisherman catch another fish too when I was putting my shoes back on. So on my last hike I found a sock, just one, not the pair. I found a sock and turned it in at the hut that we went to. And today we found this whole jacket, Columbia jacket, kind of like an outer shell, just in the middle of the trail. Really a weird day to find a jacket. Maybe it's been there for a bit, but it looked like it just had fallen right out of someone's pack, except we only saw like a couple guys when we went on this trail, so they were headed the other way. I'm headed this way, but there is a parking lot coming up, so I think I'll probably just leave it at that trailhead in case someone drives back to look for it. Found this little nest on the ground. Must have blown out of a tree. The trail that we did, or loop that we did, looks like it's going to end up at about 7.5 miles. And I think we'll have done it in a little over 6 hours. And you know, that was with all of our breaks in there and the slow going uphill. So that's good. I'm trying to still learn how to best estimate my times for this. So it's good to know I'm pretty much on point for that sort of stuff. And I'll just learn the more I go along. So thanks for joining us. We hope you'll catch us again on our channel.